New York.
One day, a friend of mine was like, "Yo, man, I went to school for being a financial historian." So I'm like, "Bro, I don't know what that is. What is that?" And he's like, "Bro, we study rich people's spending habits." I was like, "Oh, snap!"
In other words, wealthy people have a way of controlling their money to continue to help them become wealthier. Now, I need you to pay very close attention to what he's about to say next.
I'm going to open up an insurance, put 2-3 million in my insurance, and borrow from that and put it back in.
All right. So one of the things that people often tell me is that, well, nobody has $2 million to put into a life insurance policy. So I'm going to show you exactly what he did and how I'm actually doing the same thing, but not up to $2 million. So the first thing that you got to understand is that he's not talking about your traditional type of life insurance, right? He's specifically talking about a dividend paying whole life insurance policy, right? Which allow you to accumulate cash value and put anywhere from 10 to $2 million in the policy. Of course, you can also put in more than 2 million, but just for this, for the sake of this example, we're going to talk about 10 to 2 million. Now, what's interesting though, right, is the power of leveraging this type of policy to becoming your own bank. So now, using my personal policy, I'm going to give you an example of exactly how this works, so you know that you really don't need $2 million to get something like this set up. So now, my personal policy has about $1.3 million in death benefit, okay, which allows me to put up to $75,000 in my own bank. So that means outside of my cost of insurance, I can actually take a lump sum and put it into my own bank for, whatever purposes that I'll talk about in a second. Okay. Now, the reason why a lot of wealthy people and people who are mainly inclined to, have their money grow and earn interest over time use this type of policy is because of all the benefits that it comes with. Number one, it's a dividend paying policy, which means that your money's earning dividends on a consistent basis and you have guaranteed growth. Okay, we're not talking about market fluctuation. Your money is guaranteed to grow on a consistent basis and it's private. Okay, the only person who knows what's in here, it's you. It's not your personal bank and nobody can have access to it because it's inside of a life insurance policy. You have 100% control of the money in here, meaning that you can access it anytime you want without having to fill out applications or even answer to anybody because it's your money. All right, tax-free growth. Whatever growth your money earns in here. So for example, $75,000 in my own bank, if this money grows to, let's say, $500,000 over time due to compound interest, I don't have to pay taxes on the growth of that money. Very important. Okay. And then of course you got the protection, right? You got the death benefit. So that means when I pass away, my wife is going to get $1.3 million and, to take care of the family. And it's also protected from creditors. What does that mean? That means if I were to ever get into a lawsuit or whatever the case may be, they cannot come after whatever money I have in my policy. All right. Now keep in mind, this 75,000, it's not a one-time thing, right? It's every year I can put in 75,000 and continue to build my own personal bank. All right. Zero market volatility. Whatever growth you have in this policy does not lose its value, unlike, other traditional investment that people put their money into. And then you got the opportunity, meaning that you can use your money to invest in other income producing assets. I'm going to give you an example. Okay. So $75,000 in my own bank. If I decide to take a loan of 50,000 from this, I can use this loan to invest in, let's say, real estate, Turo, or whatever the business is, and continue to make money there. But here's the catch. My 50,000 technically never left my bank, right? Because it is being held as a collateral. So in other words, my 75,000 is still here earning uninterrupted compound interest. So when Waka Flocka says, I put $2 million in and I take it out, is because his money is still growing while the 2 million is being used for other investments. So when you understand this concept, it becomes very difficult for you to leave, 30, 50, 100, $200,000 just sitting in the bank when you can have this type of structure set up, have your own personal bank, continue to earn money and use it to pretty much do other investment opportunity and also gain all these different protections.